There was plenty of drama in the early slate of week 1 Sunday afternoon. The drama was eliminated by Kyler Murray when the Arizona Cardinals traveled to Tennessee to take on the Titans. They beat down the Titans 38-13. Kyler Murray, 5 touchdowns in this game, and it was a game that was never really that close. Joining me now, Bo Brack from Locked On Cardinals, and of course the Monday host of Locked On NFL. And Bo, the Cardinals made the splashy moves in the offseason. They bring in J.J. Watt, they bring in A.J. Green, and this offense looks every bit like the one that we thought it could be. What did you see from Kyler Murray today?
I saw poise for the first time. I mean, there was a big 3rd down and 10 play where the Titans had actually answered with their first score of the game, and they needed to extend that drive, and he just made a video game-esque play with the poise, stepped up, hit Rondale Moore, the 2nd-round rookie out of Purdue, for his first NFL catch to extend that drive. He ends up scoring. Kyler finishes it off himself with his legs, his first rushing touchdown of the season. 5 total touchdowns, as you said, but it was dominating performance on both sides of the ball by this Cardinals team, which I think it shocked a lot of people, but everybody was looking for that offense to step up, and they did.
Defensively, I think, is where people did not credit the Cardinals last year for some of the work that they were able to accomplish. You hold a top 5 offense from a year ago to 13 points. Was Julio Jones out there for most of the game? I don't know. A.J. Brown, was he? There were moments late in the first half where neither of them had targets. So what was this more about what Tennessee did to not play well, or what Arizona did to keep them out of their comfort zone?
It was a good mix, but they certainly got them out of their comfort zone. They held Derrick Henry, to 8 yards for the first half, and then you had 5 sacks from Chandler Jones. I mean, Chandler Jones played like 2019 Chandler Jones, where he had 19 sacks. Here's a guy that missed most of last season with a biceps tear, and he came back like he hadn't missed a beat. He's in a contract season. He's over 30. He's trying to prove a lot of people wrong. J.J. Watt, you won't see his name in the box score making a big amount of plays, but he freed up Chandler Jones, and he was just an absolute animal out there. And then Byron Murphy. There were big-time questions about this defensive secondary, and the third-year cornerback trying to make himself a household name. He stepped up. He batted down a bunch of passes. He made life easier on Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator, so he could dial up those exotic blitzes, the cover zeros and all that. Byron Murphy stepped up today. So, yeah, that defense looked for real, and it was ferocious. Their front 7 has to be special, and it was on Sunday.
As we finish up here, the one question that I have, and you and I talked about this before we hit record here, Kyler Murray, a lot of his plays, and he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal last year, was a legitimate MVP candidate in the first half of the season before he got hurt. A lot of this stuff out of structure, it's backyard football. How much do you have to temper this by saying, okay, we don't know how sustainable this is going to be week in and week out against an NFL defense, which is not what the Titans put on the field on Sunday?
No, they certainly didn't. I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of like blind faith in that I don't know what was going on with the Titans, but you're right. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals were a team that came out of the gates hot last year. They beat the NFC champion the year before to open up the season in 2020. And the San Francisco 49ers, they beat a team that's been to the playoffs in back-to-back seasons, the Titans. So, should you temper expectations? Absolutely, because Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray, the league, obviously, as we know, adjusts to you week in, week out. Can they make the proper adjustments going forward? Yeah, I think so. They're going to take on the Vikings in week 2, and then they've got Jacksonville in week 3, so a pretty good slate to open things up. But you saw some pre-snap movement by this offense. You saw some things that Cliff Kingsbury is incorporating for the first time in his NFL tenure, and this is this is a pivotal year for Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, you can improve off 3 wins, you can improve off 5 wins. Improving off of 8 wins, that's a tough step, and Cliff Kingsbury has to show that he belongs, and I think he's stepping his game up. We'll see if it's sustainable. That's the biggest question for this Cardinals team going forward.